Hey, hi, hello, my lovely Leos. I'm back. Hopefully, once a month, we're gonna aim for. I hope everyone is doing well. All good things. Okay, let's see. Since we're aiming for like monthly, we'll see what's up with October. Oops. I got rid of my table. Ops. Okay, let's see what we have here. We have Alithia, Gnosis, the Dead End, the Castle, the Mask, Thanatos, and the Maiden. I mean, Leos, the Thanatos and the Dead End, it's this idea of like, look, something on my eye right there. It's this idea of feeling stuck and feeling like there's nowhere to go, and the more you push, the more entwined you become. And this is just kind of that idea of lies. I feel like it's just kind of saying that like you found yourself in this like dead end of lies, and we're feeling a little trapped by it, just this, I want to say like it looks good on the outside, but on the inside it feels gross. And I almost want to say like, this is like a pureness of truth. So maybe just understanding, because Gnosis is also this idea of like deep knowing and intuition. So, I want to say it's just that idea of following your intuition and knowing, like which direction you need to turn in order to not feel, I want to say just status quo is really like what I want to say, but the castle is the idea of like destination stagnation, right? So, it could be that, like we found ourselves in something where we're like, okay, this is great, but there's not enough here. And knowing like how it is that we would restrict ourselves in those circumstances. And that would be by wearing a mask of completion. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch this one. but I get the feeling it's almost this idea of like I'm not done yet. You know what I mean? Like this is not my plateau. And knowing that you haven't hit a plateau, but feeling maybe a little bit like, okay, but like where do I go from here? Like, okay, like now what? And just following your intuition and I want to say discovering what that now what is, so that you can. The maiden is the idea of youthful curiosity, passion, and I think that that's really and truly like Leo, what you're wanting to do. Leos, we don't sit still well. So it's kind of that idea that you're just like I almost want to say like you got to like a next level and now you're like, okay, now what? Like, okay, now how do I keep going? How do I keep moving forward? How do I not like cap out here? I almost want to say like I've already been here. This is not where I'd like okay, but more. Like that's how I feel about all of this. Anyways, okay, 5 minutes in. Sorry. I'm excited to do this again. Okay, Leos. Nine of Wands. being swept up in something. Yeah, I mean, I feel like in a way what you're discovering, like this dead end and Thanatos and the castle and just kind of like, you know, is that what you don't want is lack or feeling under attack. You know what I mean? Like you're like, no, no, that's not for me, you know? and you've been kind of swept up in protecting yourself and what you're doing and what you're working towards. You know, you've just been like, if this is gonna be bothersome to my life, then I will choose to walk away from it. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay. But I feel like that's all of like the Thanatos and the dead end and the castle. I don't want to. Let's move along, shall we? What's going on with this maiden here? Okay. So we had the Ten of Swords, the Two of Cups, the Two of Pentacles, and the Three of Wands. I mean, I feel like the Ten of Swords, I mean, obviously that's like ultimate truth, you know, like a full disclosure type of understanding, you know, in combination with Alethea, which is, again, you know, like a pureness of truth, pureness of understanding. You know, possibly between you and another person. I mean, it could be a friend, it could be family member, it could be, you know, a lover, you know, somebody that you're very, very close to and who you, I think, care about significantly. You know, I mean, there's this feeling of partnership that that I want to say was lacking in your environment before. And while you were over here just like, okay, fake it till you make it, you know what I mean? Like, you got this beat, you know, like, okay, come on, let's go. At some point in time, you know, like you didn't have to wear the mask of fake it till you make it. You were like, okay, I'm here now. You know what I mean? Like, okay, like I'm past all of this, you know, the trip ups and the, you know, like the lies and the manipulations and the, you know, like all the things that were leaving me feeling under attack have been, you know, left behind, let go, released into the wild, you know, like, so that now, you know, you're coming into a place that's going to be, I want to say less wild, you know, like it won't feel, I hate to associate the idea of wilderness with lack, but if you don't know what you're doing in the wilderness, you're screwed. So, you know what I mean? It's just kind of that idea of like stepping out of the wilderness. And that's the image that's in my head right now anyways, so whatever. Possibly going on a trip. This is my trip card. You know, whatever that means, wherever that is for you. I would say, you know, likely with another person or possibly a group of people. So it seems like there are positive things happening, good positive things. I don't know. We'll do some of these. I got a new deck. I love these cards. They're gorgeous. And it's called the Good Tarot, which is like nice because it pretty much only focuses on, I mean, everything has a shadow side, but it doesn't focus on the shadow side. It's almost like the light to the shadow. So I don't like to use them all of the time, but like I feel like on occasion they're like, yes, let's do this. Okay. Seven of Water. Seven of Water is the idea of choices. Which does, I mean, honestly, Leo, I mean, I feel like that feels right. You know, just the idea of knowing which way to go, knowing yourself well enough to know, like what works for you and what doesn't, like how you like to allot your time, like where your priorities lie, and realizing that you have, quite a selection here of like, okay, like, where do I start? Like, okay, there's this idea of all of these things that I want to say, like, all of these things that I want to do, like, I don't want to be in this status quo life. Like, I want to go further. And how is it that I want to go further? And which direction do I turn? And I almost just want to say, like, intuitively knowing, which directions would bring you down, which directions would, fill you with doubt or fear or, insecurity. I mean, it's just kind of this idea of moving away from that. I mean, we don't really have any major arcana out. It doesn't feel like there's any, like, big major thing happening here. It just kind of feels like this transition, or even, like this acknowledgement of, like, what's not working in your life right now, or, what maybe possibly worked for a minute and then, just kind of didn't go anywhere, and so you're just kind of like, okay, but like, I need to just kind of let this go, take off this mask, move in a direction that, I think feels safe, like, you're like, this feels like something that I can invest myself in and trust, because I know that it's safe. Like, I know that it's protected. I know that, I almost want to say, like, there aren't any booby traps set. Which, again, I just, like, I'm in the wild here in my imagination. And it almost feels like you're dodging traps. You're traversing through, trying to find your way out of the dead end, trying to, find your way back through it all, and doing it successfully, but having to do it through making decisions and figuring out instinctively what will take you in the direction that you ultimately know is the direction that you are supposed to go. And then, like, maybe actually going somewhere. Okay, let's do an archetype and then we'll call it a read. I feel like 12 minutes is pretty decent. They don't need to be crazy long, right? Okay, the riddle. I feel like there's a decision or choice being made that's coming up for you. I just kind of get the feeling that there's options for whatever it is that this is. I mean, like, if it's a business partnership, or if it's a friendship, or if it's a, like, however that plays out, maybe you're just doing some, like, working on projects with people, or, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many ways this could play out. But any of those ways, it feels like your world's gotten bigger. You've got a lot of decisions on who you want to be and how you want to present yourself and who you want to align yourself with. And you're doing it, I want to say successfully. So kudos. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope that I can do these consistently and then possibly work on actually investing in this, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, so take care, much love, and happy October. Mwah.